Team Fortress 2 is probably one of my favorite video games of all time. The game has so many great qualities that I could talk endless about, though aside from its gameplay, what made TF2 stand out from the first-person shooter genre was its characters. All of TF2's characters' personalities are funny, cartoonish, and overall entertaining to watch. However, although TF2's characters are entertaining, compared to many other fictional characters, they don't have a lot of depth. Almost every character out of the 9 in TF2 is a one-dimensional stereotype that loves to do nothing but destroy the other team in the most brutal way possible. They're not really role models to look up to. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, because TF2's characters are supposed to be fun cartoon characters made only to entertain you. They're not meant to teach you valuable lessons or morals about humanity. However, it made me wonder, was there ever a time where TF2 took itself seriously with its characters? Well, there was, in a TF2 animated story made by Valve called Expiration Date. The animation was created through Source Filmmaker as part of the Love and War update. It's a 15-minute animation that, for the first time ever, Valve took TF2's characters in a different direction, by this time actually making them more sympathetic. Though you're probably saying to yourself, but what about the medic and Heavy's relationship in the Meet the Medic short, and the sniper and his Meet the short, and the depth added in the comics? While I do agree the shorts and comics have given more depth to the characters, Expiration Date feels like there was a more greater focus on fleshing out TF2's characters, while the shorts and comics focused more on entertainment from the characters and story than any depth. Before I begin, I mentioned Expiration Date added depth to TF2's characters in general, but really only the Scout and Spy get a large amount of development. The rest of the characters are just kinda there, so I will be specifically talking about these two, the story, my additional thoughts, and then end with my conclusion. Already, the story of Expiration Date starts off differently than what I expect from past TF2 animated shorts. Instead of starting with a huge action sequence that shows the mercenaries in action, the story starts with Scout, Soldier, and Heavy returning back to base after completing a mission. You can even see the bullet holes and damage on the windows of the van, which is a nice detail. The story of Expiration Date is that the characters have 3 days to live because they went through teleporters for 4 years, giving them tumors. So Scout asks for a spy's help in making his last moments be going on a date with Miss Pauline before time runs out. To have a story like this focus on what a character does in their final moments is already a big difference than the spectacle from the stories in the TF2 comics and shorts. In general, a story concept like this is way more personal and fitting more towards a character study than it does for entertainment. Now, that's not to say a story with this concept has to take itself seriously, which Expiration Date doesn't at points, but more than likely a story like this will. The tone of Expiration Date's story is different. While it does have some funny moments, it does take itself seriously just enough for you to care about the characters. The serious tone helps in making moments like the climax suspenseful when you consider the fact that the characters that you like, Scout and Pauline, were closest to dying, where in the majority of TF2 shorts the stakes are much lower. For example, the Demoman short has Demoman destroy the blue team left and right while having a blast.
Your head full of eyeballs! Come and get me, I say! I'll be waiting on you with a whipping your brimstone! I'm a grim-blooded fable with an unhappy bloody end!
Many of TF2's shorts are like this to show off the awesomeness of the characters. How they can just bow down enemies without breaking sweats adds to the enjoyment of the characters and makes you want to play as them. However, since Expiration Date takes danger seriously and the idea of dying, you connect more with the characters in a realistic way, thus making the story feel more grounded in reality. Another aspect of Expiration Date that is different is the humor. While still over-exaggerated, especially with Soldier, the humor is a lot more mundane and less messed up. TF2's humor is actually a lot more darker than I remembered. Expiration Date's humor comes off more silly with simple human mistakes and fun banter from the Scout and Spy. There's less dark humor that has characters dying brutally. The only time anyone is shown to be dead is at the beginning, and even by the end they're fighting a mindless bread monster than actual people. When it comes to Expiration Date's story, it's probably one of the very few tame TF2 stories that saves its action for the end, and doesn't have as much dark humor. Scout's personality has always been a mixed bag for many. You either find Scout's annoying behavior entertaining, or just annoying. Expiration Date does continue Scout's annoying personality for humor, but it surprisingly uses his unmannered and annoying qualities as part of his character arc. Compared to the Scout's Meet the Short, Scout is way more tame and civilized than he normally is, to the point where for the first time you can relate to his character and actually feel bad for him. For the first time, Scout becomes an engaging character for a reason he's not traditionally known for. These traits being Scout's determination, humility, and sacrifices, all to impress a girl he likes. Already, the way Scout is introduced in Expiration Date is different. In his Meet the video, he addresses the camera to showcase his big ego by flexing on the audience.
I don't even know where to start with you. I mean, do you even know who you're talking to? Yo, what's up? Do you have any idea who I am?
Scout also gets to showcase his energy and his fast way with words. Scout's Meet the video perfectly portrays the character of a cocky, annoying guy with a big ego that is still engaging to watch. On the other hand, Expiration Date has Scout asleep, already inactive. When he does get the chance to talk, his wording is slower and he lacks the confidence in himself that we're used to seeing from him. So seeing Scout fail to communicate his feelings already has us relate and care for him. The one time where Scout does act annoying is when he ruins Spy's honorable death wish, but we understand directly after that Scout is just insecure and wants to look tough around others. Scout wants to keep his image that he's cool and confident, but Expiration Date shows that he isn't always like that. So Scout chooses to sacrifice those traits of him, literally by saying that Spy was better than him for everyone to hear. In general, watching a character go into a context that we don't usually see them in makes us attached and root for them. From Scout going against his usual traits, to getting advice from a man he doesn't usually like, to doing something other than for himself. Scout is just a great character in Expiration Date. When it comes to the Spy, Expiration Date gets Spy's character down pretty well from his previous short. I've heard that a lot of fans of TF2 view Spy as this devil of a man, who despite being less direct about his intentions on winning fights than the rest of the classes, his way is more hurtful, which I guess getting shot in the front is potentially better than getting shot in the back. Not to mention Spy's domination quotes are pretty cold.
Here lies Scout. He ran fast and died a virgin.
Despite that though, Spy has always been shown to carry an amount of respect with him. Sure, his job is to kill, but like the sniper, he takes it as a profession than a pleasure. Not to mention, Spy is the only character out of the 9 to be shown to have a relationship outside of his work, therefore adding another redeemable quality to him. Spy's professionalism and respect is definitely something to inspire to be, though really Spy's only flaw is his temper. In Expiration Date, we see both Spy's upsides and downsides. We're shown that Spy organized a meeting with everyone to try and make them all at least do something of value before death. Though what's sad is because of Scout and the rest not giving a chance to Spy's wishes, he loses respect in all of them. Spy even says that he'll see them all in hell, essentially saying he's given up hope for them and him. The only time Spy becomes more hopeful is when Scout apologizes to him. I like this scene because it shows that despite Spy being reasonably angry at Scout, he realizes that he isn't showing respect to him, despite Scout acting respectful to him, because if he doesn't show respect or give Scout a chance, it would be no different than Scout not showing him respect during the meeting. So Spy chooses to help Scout by respecting his wishes, though it could be somewhat debated whether Spy really wanted to help Scout, or that he was trying to get revenge by watching him suffer for his final days alive, which would be pretty evil. Was Spy trying to ruin the date by pretending to teach Scout? Well, more than likely not. As shown in the TV scene, Spy was more ashamed than laughing at Scout's mistakes like it wasn't his intention to ruin it. And the scene after this shows Spy telling Scout to focus on fixing the date while he and the rest take care of the bread monster. Spy, like the Scout, hides his true feelings, though unlike Scout, he reveals his true feelings in subtle ways. Just like any good spy, he knows how to act. Real quick, I wanted to add my additional thoughts on Expiration Date as a whole. I find Expiration Date's success surprising because despite all the clever details I've mentioned in this video, it does go against a lot of what TF2's characters are known for. Yet despite that, it's the third most viewed video on the TF2 YouTube channel. My theory as to why it became so successful is that the humor, while much different, was still extremely clever and quotable. If you look at the comment section of the video, it's mostly people typing quotes from the jokes from the story, then discussion about the story. I guess both the humor and serious moments were balanced perfectly. In conclusion, Expiration Date did new things with TF2's characters than what was to be expected. It tried a different story concept, it made Scout more mannered than too annoying, and it showcased Spy's professionalism and respect towards Scout in its purest form. Overall, this is how Expiration Date added humanity to TF2's characters.